Small crossover SUVs have been wildly popular, outselling the less versatile sedans for quite some time.
Mark and I brought our two current favorites in this segment, and Will over here brought the RAV4, the current top seller.
We're going to take a closer look at each of these vehicles to let you know what their strengths and weaknesses are. We've put hundreds of miles on each of these SUVs on the road, but we thought we'd spare you 12 minutes of us going to buy groceries. Instead, we took our 3 red people movers to our test track where we could make those disclaimers at the bottom of every ad about closed roads and professional drivers come alive. You may never drive your compact crossover like this, but at least you can rest easy knowing someone has.
We got the latest Honda CR-V here with the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that you get on almost every version you'll find on a dealer lot. There's the 2.4 that comes in the base LX. I don't know if I've ever seen one of those on the road. It doesn't really seem like something people are going to be interested in because you do want the turbo motor, it gets better fuel economy and more power. How are you guys enjoying it so far?
This back seat is cavernous. There's a lot of room for me to flop around back here.
I've been watching that, yeah.
But I mean, it's huge back here. This is just a ton of room in this car.
Yeah, it is very spacious. This is effectively a mid-size SUV, I would say, in terms of usability.
I'm not getting a sense of that space though. I feel like the headliner and the windshields are actually a little close to me.
That's interesting. Ooh. Oh, wow, there's that noise. It just sounds like the engine wants to leap out of the engine bay. You know, the CVT just does not do it any favors in the sound department.
In its defense, though, no one in their right mind is going to be driving a CR-V this hard.
That's fair.
And it does provide good boost and good fuel economy. I mean,
it does.
With the gas motor.
Well, not right now.
But with a gas motor, this is the most efficient of the 3.
That
if you
is
don't want
correct.
a hybrid.
Now this is the front-wheel drive one, which means we're going to be getting, under ideal circumstances, 34 mpg highway, which is easily the best of any of these competitors. The others, I think, 31 and 30 at the top end. So fuel economy is definitely a strong suit, at least according to the EPA. Now in the real world, if you're in the boost like I've been here, your results may vary.
Here's the thing though, it's making a lot of tire noise, but
yes.
It doesn't feel sloppy.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it sloppy. It clearly does not have much tire for this purpose. But,
right.
But in the real world, having driven this around, I didn't feel like it needed more tire like on a country road or something.
No.
So I think this is an extreme situation we're in right now, but I do like the way it responds. The steering, there's no slop in it. It kind of goes where you point it. The thing for me about this car is the transmission. I think if people are not used to a CVT, this could be kind of a rude awakening in that it just doesn't always respond as promptly or as predictably as you might expect if you're used to driving like a traditional automatic transmission.
And they don't offer any kind of automatic, do they?
CVTs across the board, yeah. Even with the 2.4, it's still a CVT. That's the one thing. I think if people take a test drive and they're like, yeah, transmission's fine, what's he talking about? Cool, then you'll probably like the rest of the car. For me, it's a deal breaker.
Wow, all right.
See, in normal driving, I haven't felt that way about this vehicle because the CVT, when you're just, cruising in traffic, when you're driving on the freeway, when you're driving around town, the response that I expect from a car, the CVT isn't falling short of that.
It's not until you start getting onto a highway, on an on-ramp or something, you really want to get up to speed. Does it feel like it's at a disadvantage?
Yeah, and the engine gets really frantic.
I think this is better suited to someone who has 1 or 2 kids. It's comfortable. It just kind of checks all the boxes.
There's still some road noise there, I noticed on a longer drive over the weekend.
It does seem like for this vehicle, they looked at the old RAV4 and they said, okay, it's going to be just better. In every measure, not necessarily tremendously better, but it's going to be better. It's also the only one that has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is the 2018 RAV4, and it's the RAV4 that really started the compact crossover craze way back when, and it's still the best-selling of any compact crossover. In fact, it's the best-selling vehicle in the US next to the pickup trucks that everybody loves to buy so much. But I think part of the appeal of this is that there's nothing complicated about it. There's no other reason you buy it. You don't have to think, oh, I want the one that handles well. You just think, I want the one that will carry all of my people and stuff, and I don't want to worry about it.
It's not something that I don't think you really aspire to. There's nothing that kind of gets me excited about this car. It's the safe choice.
Yeah. There's actually decent bolstering in these seats. A little more than I expected. Thanks for helping me to feel that with that turn.
I mean, it's just a perfectly fine place to spend time. I mean, I agree, there's nothing that stands out here, but I think that's sort of part of the point of this car, is it just does what it does without any pretension to anything else. And you can get a hybrid powertrain, so you get better fuel economy than any of the others if that's what you're looking for. It's also not a very thrilling engine. The transmission will, even though it's only a 6-speed transmission, it will sort of jump around if you're in normal mode and you start asking for a little bit of acceleration.
There's something kind of honest, though, about this powertrain that I'm drawn to.
Yeah, it's basically the same powertrain as the Mazda.
Even to be competitive nowadays, you have to over-deliver on a number of fronts. Refinement and comfort and performance. Everything has now gotten to the point where everybody's expecting more. This doesn't really over-deliver. It's adequate in almost every way.
It's an aging product that's kind of hanging in there, but you're right, it's not really going the extra mile.
The ride and handling isn't bad. It is a little rougher on the road than that CX-5. You definitely feel the bumps a little bit more. I mean, it's not sloppy around these turns.
It was a little boaty coming out of that last turn, though. I felt a little bit of residual bounces as you set it into the turn.
Yeah, you wouldn't call this the driver's choice.
No.
But at the same time, I feel like if someone told me, hey, I just bought a 2018 RAV4, it would be hard to argue against that.
Oh,
you
no,
know? I mean,
no.
Well,
You would say, why didn't you get the
argument.
2019 and just wait 9 months?
Well, it's an all-new model. You want to give it a year or two to maybe sort things out. Yeah.
The other thing is, you'll be able to get a really good deal on one of these when it's on dealer lots in a few months when the new one's out.
That's a great point.
This is going to get cheaper. You don't always see sales on Toyotas.
Welcome to the best small crossover you can buy today, the Mazda CX-5. It's a little sportier, it's a little more reactive and responsive. Sure, it's an SUV and it's a little tippy, but there's only so much you can do in regards to physics, right?
One of the things that impresses me in this car is the body roll is really well controlled.
You should try sitting in the middle back here, but I take your point.
Well, in addition to better driving dynamics, I think it's also the best looking in the bunch.
I would agree with that.
I mean, it's better to look good than feel good, but this does both.
If you look around at the competition, there's not really another crossover at this price point that actually makes a style statement. Not one that I can think of, at least.
It's not over-styled either. I mean, it just, like, the overall shape is really pleasing.
Yeah.
It's also definitely the nicest interior of any of the ones we have here today.
Some of these materials we wouldn't have expected to see, except for maybe a luxury car last generation.
Yeah.
And it's got this great infotainment controller here that's kind of the same as you'd expect from BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. And look at that. It's just well managed, you know? It's easy to drive. It's fun to drive.
It raises the question, why do you buy a compact SUV? Is it because it handles nicely?
You know, there are certain people left in the world who appreciate cars that handle well and are sporty.
But if you're buying one of these, what you need is practicality, right? What you need is to be able to fit stuff and people and just carry things around. I mean, what are the tricks of this car other than it's nice to put around a turn, which, let's face it, mostly the only chance you get to do that is a freeway on-ramp. Not every road is our test track.
Well, you don't think that this has enough cargo space?
If you got 2 kids, especially if they're small, you got 2 strollers you got to throw in a trunk. That's a lot of space right there. This is definitely going to be the worst at moving stuff.
Worst?
There's no other powertrain option in this car. This is the only one here today.
I don't think it needs more power. I mean,
Well, but power is only part of it, right? The other thing that the other powertrain options on the other vehicles offer is not just more power, but more fuel efficiency. You've got a hybrid motor in the RAV4, and you've got the 1.5 liter turbo in the CR-V, both of which are more efficient than what you get in this car.
But I think the point about cargo capacity for me in this segment is I doubt that many buyers are actually folding down the seats and maximizing every last cubic foot that's available. I feel like what they're looking for is a high seating position. Yeah, a convenient hatchback trunk, sure, you can fold down the seats if you need to, but I think it's the style that really pushes this one over the top compared to other cars in the class for the price. Like, you want to look good driving a crossover. I feel like that's part of the appeal.
This is also the best seating position of any of the ones we have here today, for sure. I mean, this, you feel a little bit more ensconced in the vehicle. You've got armrests that, at least for me, actually work on both sides. And that's, I mean, just the feel of sitting down in this vehicle. There is a little bit of that sportiness to it. And I also think it's just the most comfortable. These seats, to me, are the most comfortable of the three we have.
Starting with acceleration, CR-V turns out to have a pretty significant advantage. We're talking about 1.5 seconds to 60, 7.5 for the CR-V, 9 seconds plus for the CX-5 and RAV4. What do we think about that?
It's crazy. I mean, the CX-5 feels so much faster and livelier, but numbers don't lie.
Braking distance, we go from 60 to 0, full panic stop. Once again, the CR-V has a significant advantage, 121 feet in that panic stop versus 130 for the other two cars. When it comes to cargo space, the CR-V has a class-leading 39.2 cubic feet of it behind the second row. That's on par with some mid-size SUVs.
Cargo capacity is one of the main reasons people gravitate towards crossovers like these.
That is really impressive, but on paper, it's within a cubic foot of the RAV4. In the real world, that makes a difference, though. You can see after the most unexciting game of Tetris ever.
We are down one golf bag, but only one golf bag, so they're pretty much the same. The CX-5, though, I feel like it's a little smaller. Is that, Mark? Is it smaller?
It's smaller. That is what didn't fit in the RAV4, and all of this is what doesn't fit in the CX-5. At 30.9 cubic feet, it's the smallest capacity of the bunch, but that's still a lot of stuff.
I know the RAV4 is the best-selling vehicle in this segment, but it's really starting to show its age. Compared to these other two, it just can't really hold up. We're gonna have to run this test again when we get the new model in, because I think it's gonna be a big improvement.
And I realize that the CX-5 doesn't have the greatest cargo capacity, but it really appeals to my left brain. I mean, it looks great, and it drives even better.
But here's what the right brain says. CR-V's got the best fuel economy, best cargo capacity, best braking, and best acceleration in the whole test. Case closed.
Let us know what you think. Leave a comment below, and if you like what you see, hit subscribe.
And check out Edmunds.com for full ratings and reviews of each of these SUVs.